I spent 4 days on my own exploring Zagreb, the capital city of Croatia. It was my first time visit to this city, and on my last day there I connected with an organized tour group, a tour that I had booked previously while doing my travel planning back in the States. Now, as we leave Zagreb with the tour group, on our way towards the Dalmatian coast of Croatia, it's a good time to reflect on Zagreb as a legit travel destination. After visiting Zagreb, would I recommend it to my friends? Would I return for another visit? Well, let's find out. But before we get too far into this, I'll let you know that when you reach the end of this video and want to learn more about Zagreb, I've got 4 other videos for you to watch, one for each day I was here. I'll put links to those videos at the end of this one. First, a little about the urban geography. The city center of Zagreb is divided into 2 major parts: the lower town, which is, relatively speaking, the newer, more modern part, and the upper town, which is the medieval, historic part. The upper town is more interesting to me. The city's population is about 680,000, so I would call it a medium-sized city. Sometimes in these videos I try to share with you a little of my travel philosophy, or you might call it my travel profile. I'll do a little of it while we're out here driving in the country, and then we'll jump right back into the specifics of Zagreb. In my 4 days in Zagreb, I did what I like to do most. I was constantly on the go. I walked the streets, popped into some of the buildings, climbed the steps of a medieval tower, and used the maps I got from the Tourist Information Office as my personal guide. When I'm traveling, I like to be mostly outdoors and to keep moving. I'm not an indoor museum or gallery person, although I do appreciate the value of those things, but being in tight, crowded spaces makes me antsy. I guess I'm probably not cut out for a cruise ship. But I have traveled to Europe about 40 or 50 times. To be honest, I've lost count. But I've seen the big ticket sites, the Colosseum, Eiffel Tower, Big Ben, several times over, and don't really have a burning desire to see them again right away. I'd rather go to new places I haven't been and see some of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 sites that nobody has heard about and are still unspoiled and uncrowded, and learn something new in the process. I'm also preferring places where I'm less likely to get ripped off or pickpocketed or scammed. So, given that bit of a profile, how did I like Zagreb? Well, let's talk about that. If you're traveling from the US, getting to Zagreb is straightforward. You can connect in a major European hub like London, Paris, Frankfurt, or Munich, and fly to Zagreb's small but modern international airport. Be sure to pick up your map of the city at the TI office there at the airport. You'll need it later. I took the airport bus into the city center, but Uber is a cheap and convenient alternative. If you're arriving by train, it's about a 20-minute walk from the central station to the main square. Just exit these doors and go straight, and you'll have a pleasant walk along the park on your way to the main square. Be sure to check out the meteorological clock at the northern end. In Zagreb, you've got the usual range of hotel choices, and I'd pick one that's within a 10 or 15 minute walk to the main square. Here's what I liked about Zagreb. First, the history. Here in Zagreb's upper town, or old town, we have streets, alleyways, steps, buildings, and numerous cultural features that date back to the Middle Ages. Zagreb is, after all, one of the oldest cities in Central Europe. Along with history comes culture, and there's plenty of cultural enrichment to experience in Zagreb, where it seems like we find a museum or gallery or monument on almost every street. It's where the locals cheerfully line up to see the latest art exhibition, and where there's a plaque, statue, and museum dedicated to legendary inventor Nikola Tesla. And where street musicians are good enough to make you want to stand around and watch. And speaking of street musicians, what about the Zagreb street scene? One of my favorite things to do when visiting a city is to just walk the streets and the public squares, preferably when they're occupied by local folks just going about their daily business. I found Zagreb to be an ideal city for doing just that, especially in the off-season, when there's fewer tourists. But whether I was on a street full of people or one that was totally deserted, the streetscape kept me engaged and entertained. Here are some of my favorite places to walk or just hang out to enjoy the lively Zagreb street scene. First off, the main square with the signature statue of, well, this guy, is a natural gathering place for locals and the venue for various political, cultural, and sporting events if you happen to catch one while you're here. The square is most lively on weekends, and you might be able to catch this guy's performance. And even get your selfie with him. Just plop a euro or two into his jar, and he's happy to oblige. Next up, Flower Square. It's the hip social meetup place where fortunes are made and stars are discovered. Well, I don't know if any of that is true, but it just seemed that way to me. But the square does have lots of restaurants with outdoor seating, even here in late winter, and it seemed like everybody was having a good time. And it's just a short walk through the designer label district to get from the Flower Square to the main square. Your next street scene experience should be the Dolat's Farmers Market. You'll want to walk through Saturday morning when the local folks are haggling with vendors over the price of a rutabaga. It's a true multi-sensory experience, so don't miss it.
Vidite, rudišće, hvala.
Hoćete pripremiti, evo koške.
Our next essential Zagreb street scene is also your pronunciation challenge of the day. Called Chicheva, or something maybe close to that, is a pedestrian street with plenty of shops, restaurants, cafes, and bars, all in a storybook historic setting. You'll want to walk the entire length up and down, and especially at dusk when it really comes alive. Just take it all in. Next up, the Gradets section of the upper town is perfect for walking. It takes on a magical charm after dark, where you'd swear you're immersed in a medieval movie set. Since it's mostly a pedestrian zone, with more museums than bars, you can find quiet, empty streets to wander, if that happens to be your mood. And while we're on the subject of dark, empty streets, and in case you're wondering, I'll mention that at no time during my visit to Zagreb did I encounter a place or situation where someone might feel unsafe. No scam, pickpocket, or thief encounter to report. Not that it was expected, as Croatia is consistently rated as one of the safest countries in Europe. Well, there you are. I've shown you all these wonderful things to experience in Zagreb, Croatia, so you must be asking, what are the negatives? What needs to be improved to make Zagreb that perfect place for travelers who enjoy history, culture, interesting street scenes, in a safe and civil environment, and want to avoid the stress and crowds of today's over-touristed places in Europe? Well, of course, no place is perfect, and I have just a few things to mention on this topic. First off, when you visit Zagreb around the time this video is published, and probably well into the future, you'll notice the number of buildings that are under renovation or reconstruction. This is due to the earthquake of 2020 that damaged over 26,000 buildings, 1,900 of which became completely unusable. One of the most serious impacts was the damage to the cathedral. One of the spires actually broke off, and repairs are taking much longer than promised. So today as I film, the grounds are all fenced off, you can't get close, and the twin spires of this cathedral are marred by scaffolding. It will return, but nobody can say when. So if you visit the city today, understand that in addition to the great sights you'll see, there will be some renewal taking place. And it can only get better. A second thing you might notice is the graffiti. Now, I know some people might call it street art, but many of us can agree on what's ugly and what's okay. I did see some evidence of improvement, though. One building covered in graffiti, and right next door to it, another freshly painted building, and it's still pristine. Maybe it will stay that way. And you know, in Zagreb, there appears to be acceptable places for graffiti and street art. For example, this narrow alleyway where the graffiti is the attraction. and where street art is highly valued as a cultural landmark. So don't let the little graffiti or earthquake cleanup deter your plans to visit Zagreb. Which gets me back to the point of this video, answering the two fundamental questions. Should you visit Zagreb? If you're a curious and discerning traveler, of course you should. And would I return for a second visit? Absolutely. In fact, just editing this video and looking up names and places revealed to me sites that I didn't have time to discover on my first visit. Hey, thanks for hanging in there till the end. I hope you got some value out of this. And there's a lot more on Zagreb in these videos, so feel free to check them out. See ya!